Action. Sort of. Hello, friends and neighbors. Stevie Coyle here. Friday noontime webcast, Facebook first, then over to Instagram, then to YouTube. Got, as usual, one guitar to show you today, designed by MFG Schoenberg, fantastic player and merchant of fine instruments for years and years, and really kind of one of the progenitors of the OM, triple O size that we all love so much, especially as we get wider, perhaps, and certainly more advanced in age. How many syllables did I get in there? Old. This size guitar is it's kind of a triple O / OM. A bunch of you know this already. In fact, I'm going to wait for folks to show up here and make sure that things are actually happening. There you go. Don't want to give away the goodies right away. There we go. Looks like things are happening. Great. Okay. This size guitar is, some people would say, oh, that's a parlor guitar. They say that because it's smaller than a dreadnought or a jumbo, the thing that we all had to have, those of us that grew up in the 60s and 70s and saw nothing but dreadnought-sized guitars. The reason Martin called it a dreadnought is because the dreadnought was the largest ship in the British Navy. I'm not sure exactly how that linkage went. But what they were trying to convey was gigantic, huge guitar. This is kind of, generally speaking, the next size down. There is a quadruple O. This is a triple O. There's a quadruple O, also known as an M series. We're getting esoteric already. Sorry, nerding out. There is a size between this and that. But this is, generally speaking, the second biggest guitar you'll find most places. This one was designed by MFG Schoenberg, and it's his favorite, which is really, in a lot of senses, my favorite as well. 12 frets to the body, but a cutaway. So you get that sound you get, and there is a distinctive sound that the 12-fret guitars have where the body joins at the 12th fret instead of the 14th fret, which, joining at the 12th fret, pushes the bridge, this thing down here, down towards the middle of the lower bout, instead of being up closer to the sound hole. Up closer to the sound hole, you get great saturation. Down here, in the middle of the bout, with a 12-fret guitar, you get great separation. Yeah, articulation. Too many syllables. I'll be there in just a couple minutes. Thank you. People. Damn. So this, presumably, and certainly in this case, is kind of the best of all possible worlds. You have, for fingerstyle players who want intense articulation, a real piano-like tone, where every note stands out and punches hard all by itself without needing to saturate with the other notes. I just changed the strings on this one, so apologies in advance for any variances in tuning. And this one wasn't too bad. Boy, sometimes guitars come into the shop and people say, I really want to sell this guitar. I'm just not playing it. Well, somebody was playing it because there is a ton of DNA on those strings. It's a super fun sight on those strings. This was not the case on this guitar, but sometimes, here's a recommendation. You want to save money on buying guitars? Change your damn strings, he said, as politely as he could. Really and truly, that's a great way to get yourself the sound of a new guitar, is put on some new strings. And it's not that hard. There's lots and lots of YouTube, perhaps you've heard of it, videos that will show you just how to do that quick and easy. It doesn't have to involve fancy knots and crossovers and this and that if you've got a modern style guitar where the tuning pegs, the tuning posts, have a waist in them. If you've got that, it's going to be easy peasy to change your strings. I have spoken. Wow. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by myself. This guitar is a triple O cutaway in Adirondack spruce top, a very dense wood that you can make very thin and very resonant without it losing structural integrity. Structural integrity out of Coyle, pretty good. And the back and sides are this insane, I must be insane. Stevie's House of Guitars, I must be This is premium Coyle on the back and sides. Fantastic guitar, built by a fantastic builder called Alan Perlman, who is one of my faves. Michael Stadler is here, it's one of his faves as well. We're here to testify that he is the shit. As the young people say, and in a good way, strangely enough. Now some folks will play the meedley-meedley notes way up high here. I don't find myself up that end of the world too much. And in fact, my stage guitar is a Thompson cutaway, a Ted Thompson cutaway. And I just typically don't find myself way the heck up here. So my alpha guitar is, again, an Alan Perlman, and we'll be featuring him again next week as well. An Alan Perlman 12 fret, no cutaway guitar, and it serves me just fine. Sometimes for a tune or two you need to get up here, but then you do that Eric Sky thing of angling your fingers this way, and you don't have to have a cutaway guitar. But if you need a cutaway, if you want a cutaway guitar, because the chicks dig them, they just look cool. Here, this guitar really puts the lie to the whole idea that a Coyle guitar is going to be bright and sizzly and have nothing else. It's going to have nothing but brightness and sizzle. These are light gauge strings, long scale, so this is 25.5 inch scale. Plenty of punch. And you can hit it hard without it rattling. Wide fingerboard, I should warn you. Or actually, it's a feature for a lot of folks. There was a fellow who asked recently, what did I have in stock that had 1 13/16 at least across the fingerboard? And there are just a couple. Standard guitar widths at the nut are 1 11/16 and 1 12/16, 1 3/4. This one is a 1/16 and an inch wider than that, and you really feel it. So that's an advantage for some folks that have big fingers. There was a fellow who wrote to me recently and said, what do you got that's really wide? Because I've got wide fingers. I said, well, tell me about your fingers. How wide are they? He said, did you ever see that one of them first episodes of Star Trek with the salt monster, with the big suckers on the fingers, big long fingers, big stubby things? That's me. That was me. I said, oh, I hope you got residuals for that. So some folks have big fingers and really do need the extra width there. If, on the other hand, you are accustomed to classical guitar, which has typically 2 inches across the fingerboard here at the nut, you probably appreciate the extra width that there is on this guitar as well. And anybody, I think, would appreciate the sound of this. The proof's in the pudding. My motto here at Mighty Fine Guitars is, if it sounds good, it is good. And you can quote me on that. Oh, let's see who's here. Hey, Lewis. Hey, Chris. There's Jim. Very good. From Bristol. What a world, man. Dick Tracy came through. We didn't get the flying cars, but we did get the Dick Tracy wrist radios, where you can talk to anybody in the world on your device. In fact, I've got one right here. I take it off to play guitar, but this is ridiculous. I love it. Big nerd head. Oh, and I'm reminded here of all the stuff that's on my table here. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Hi, Bunny. Bunny, don't hesitate to tout your thing if you're doing your thing at 1 o'clock Pacific time today. Bunny Barnes is a wonderful fingerstyle player and musical historian and educator who you will learn about the tunes that she is playing, as well as listening to her beautiful tunes that she is playing. So, Bunny, tout away. Hi, John. There we go. Now in MTZ. MTZ. I'm working on it, Dave. MTZ. Montana Zone. Mountain Z. thing that I just played, Leo Kottke's the second guitar part for Stealin', a tune that he stole from Doc Watson and Pete Seeger and all kinds of other folks. Normally, on most guitars, I would play that with what they call a palm mute. It's not your palm that you're muting with, it's the heel of your hand, but we call it a palm mute. We also call Travis picking, and I think Merle Travis must spin in his grave whenever he hears people talk about pattern picking as Travis picking. But I digest. In this case, I was playing in an open kind of position over here, where I was letting the bass notes ring. On most guitars, on a lot of guitars, I would need to palm mute that a little bit so that the treble strings, the kind of the melody end of what I was playing, would be able to stand out. This guitar has power everywhere. What a combination of features. 12 frets to the body, which makes it fingerstyle friendly, and a cutaway in case you play up that end of the world. I always like to listen to the half steps between the F sharp note and the open G string. That's nice. Da-da, that half step there. Listen to those two notes bang together. It's lovely. Everybody. Nobody. What a lovely thing. Post your comments and questions down below here. I'll get to them afterwards. Don't want to take up your time here. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you, Neil. Nice. Michael Cudahy is here. Very good. Christian, how are you? Are you back from your travels? Are you back in Yosemite? Very good. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll play you just a little bit more. This is the Eric Schoenberg guitar built by Alan Perlman in Adirondack spruce over super premium Coyle. Oh. Low mileage on this guitar. It's in great shape. It's in truly great shape. Very Martini in a lot of respects. Pyramid bridge. It's 2 3/8 string spacing down here at the saddle. 1 13/16 up there at the nut. And plays like a dream. Fingerstylers will appreciate it in particular, but you can strum the daylights out of it if you want to. I'm probably overdriving the mic. There are men high up there fishing, and they've seen quite enough of the world. Oh, I ain't seen a sign of my hero, and I'm still diving down for pearls. Let me flow into the ocean, let me get back to the sea. Let me be stormy, let me be calm, let the tide in and set me free. Delightful play. Come in, folks, and play them all. I'm in Lafayette, California, heart of the Tri-Cities area. Lafayette, Orinda, and Moraga. See, I do it myself. They call it La Morinda. It's just on the other side of the hills from San Francisco, of the Berkeley Hills from San Francisco. One of those first towns you drive through on your way to other places. And I got my own little corner of the world here. It's a cool little shop, if I do say so myself. I had this opportunity to make the shop I wanted to walk into myself. And people do. People walk in. If there's something you'd like to see, I can set up a session like this with you. If there's a guitar you're particularly interested in, we'll work it out. I can send you a guitar on examination period for whatever you need, 24, 48, 72 hours. If it's love, I'll cash the check. If it's not, send it on back and pay for shipping both ways, and there you are. Round and round and round it goes. Thank you very much for tuning in. I do one of these just about every Friday, and there are folks knocking on the door, so I'm going to jet along here. Next week, I'm going to feature again another Alan Perlman guitar that was featured earlier. Just had a neck refinish, and it's just fantastic guitar as well. This one is going to be up around $10,000, $9,500, $10,000 for the Schoenberg / Perlman Adirondack over Coyle Triple O Cutaway. Phew. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in again next week for another thrilling adventure next Friday at noontime Pacific time. And like I say, stack up your comments and questions down below. I'll get to them pronto. You can always find these, since these are a little bit difficult to find on Facebook. You can find them if you go to my crawl and just search and search and search under the videos option. But I post all of these over to YouTube, to Stevie Coyle Music, all one term, is the name of the channel over there. So stop by and subscribe and hit the like button and all that stuff that people say. Boy, it's a whole new world, and I'm digging it, for the most part, with notable exceptions. But we won't go into that. You know what I'm talking about. Down the road, everybody. See you there. With any luck, next Friday at noontime Pacific time. Okay? Safe travels out there. Would you like to play the guitar? Bring your money home in a jar.